Do you have a program? David Cleary, Jim Vines here on Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7. Our cameraman tonight, John Hope. We look forward to an exciting football game. The Oak Ridge High School Wildcats and the Central Bobcats, the captains, are out on the field right now. For Oak Ridge, it'll be Greg Campbell, and for the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats, the captains are out on the field. This is David Cleary along with Jim Vines as we're back live here on WATO. Jim, the Wildcats 0-3 coming into this game. We talked to Coach Young just a few minutes ago. Your observations on what the Wildcats need to do tonight?
David, basically they've got to get fired up. I think that physically Oak Ridge has been prepared to play every ball game this year. I think the difference is in the mental attitude and the willingness to do what it takes to be victorious out there on the field. I think that being a district ball game, Central's one of the oldest rivals Oak Ridge has. I think that is enough to put Oak Ridge over the hump, and I believe if they have a good ball game tonight, last week we said they didn't necessarily need a win, but they needed a good showing. Tonight, David, they need a win.
The toss of the coin has just been made. Oak Ridge won the toss, deferred the kickoff to the first half. They're going to be receiving in the second half, so we've seen that a lot in the last 2 years.
Well, that's one thing that Coach Young really likes to do, and this year they have the defense to back it up. I think it's a good move for Oak Ridge. It gives them an opportunity to shut Central down. Then Oak Ridge will take over in fairly good field position. If they were to hold Central without a first down on the first possession, take over in good field position, immediately the momentum shifts to Oak Ridge.
We had a brief shower before the football game tonight during the afternoon. Do you think that might have any effect on today's game?
Well, I think in the Hickson game and the Halls game, we didn't think it would, but we saw a lot of people slipping during the ball game. I think it will have some effect, but I don't think because of the dryness in the East Tennessee region, I don't think the field is wet per se, but there'll be some slippery footing tonight, but it's slippery for both teams. We'll just have to see how it bears out as the contest goes along.
It's really good to be here at Blankenship Field. Both teams are out on the field. The Wildcats about to kick off. It'll be Sam Sampson kicking off for Oak Ridge. Back to receive the kick for the Central Bobcats. Number 10, I believe, Tony Randolph. And we're about to get things set here from Blankenship Field. The first game at home here for the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats. And here's the kick by Sampson. High driving kick. One of the farthest kicks we've seen. It's going to go into the end zone. It'll be a touchback. So Central will have it first down, 10 yards to go. The ball at their own 20-yard line.
Now, you know, we mentioned that the crowd was not exactly what we expected for the ball game, but as the kickoff has gone, more fans are showing up tonight, and it is a very good representative crowd. We're very pleased that this many people have showed up to cheer Oak Ridge on tonight.
Up to the line of scrimmage for the Central Bobcats. They'll have it first down, 10 yards to go. The quarterback, number 2,
LeGrier.
T.J. LeGrier. We had a little conference and we finally figured out how to pronounce that name as we're about to get set. First and 10, Central from the 20. LeGrier from the I formation. The running backs, Kirkland and Hilton. Handoff goes, second man through, and he gets maybe a yard on the play, not much more than that.
Nice defensive play for Oak Ridge. David, they're lined up the basic defense that we've seen all year long. Basically, it's a 62 defense. I think you'll see them come out of it. They rotate Greg Campbell from side to side. He's still hobbled by an injury, of course. The guard, Derek Coffin, will not play tonight because of a knee injury. Other than that, Oak Ridge is healthy. We'll elaborate later. A lot of the Central players have had some shoulder separations. We'll get to that as time allows here in the first quarter.
Second down, 9 yards to go. Handoff on the left side. Mammoth's hit in the backfield momentarily. He gets up to about the 25-yard line. Pick up about 3 on the play. Going to bring up third down and about 5 yards to go. Carrying the football, I believe, was Helton once again. He carried on the first possession. The Bobcats wearing black and white. The numbers are in red against the white background. It's kind of hard to pick them up from our vantage point here in the press box. The Wildcats, of course, wearing cardinal and gray. Up the line of scrimmage once again, Central. Third down, 5 yards to go from their own 25-yard line. 10:56 to go, first quarter of play. Backfield split once again. LeGrier rolls to the left side, looks down the field, nobody comes free, pass across the way, incomplete. Oak Ridge, good defense. There was more Wildcats around the football than there were Bobcats.
Well, David, already Oak Ridge is more fired up than they were at the beginning of the ball game. I observed them on the field before the kickoff, and Oak Ridge was basically lackadaisical out there. The fire was not in their eyes, but in this first defensive series, Oak Ridge really has come of age here, and they're going to take over in fairly good field position as Central does not pick up a first down on their first series, 4th down 5.
They'll be punting from the 25. The punt is away. Back to receive it will be Jamie Redmond at his own 40-yard line. He fields it there. Comes off to the right side, has it to the 45-yard line. Still on his feet to the 47. Still scrambling up to about the 49-yard line. That's where Oak Ridge will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at their own 49.
As we see the lineup come in for Oak Ridge, David, you see Doug Underwood in there at one split end. Daniel Carter will be the tight end. Kevin Campbell will be one of the wide receivers and the starting quarterback tonight.
Gary Johnson making his first start ever as an Oak Ridge High School Wildcat. Wide to the left side will go Doug Underwood. Wide to the right side will go Kevin Campbell. Oak Ridge from the eye, Campbell and Parrott in the backfield for Oak Ridge. Gary Johnson, a senior at quarterback. 1st and 10 Oak Ridge. He rolls to the left side, looks down the field, a man wide open. The pass goes to Underwood. It's going to be overthrown. The man was there. A nice way to come out to start the football game.
Well, that's what you want to do, David. You want to loosen up the defense, get them to think about the pass. I think Gary rushed that pass a little bit. The guy did break long. Doug Underwood was open. I believe that if Gary had taken a little bit more time, he might have made something happen there. I really believe the intention, though, was just to get Central's mind on the pass, because that will open up the running game as the game goes along.
Second down, 10 yards to go for Oak Ridge at their own 49-yard line. Blake Anderson wide to the right side. Oak Ridge is Johnson. Pitch out right side goes Parrott. Turns the ball field 50. Inside Central territory at the 45. Scrambles down to the 43-yard line. A good second down gain for the senior running back, Drew Parrott.
And he is the leading ball carrier for Oak Ridge this year. He's well over 100 yards. Second and third effort, he was stopped about 4 yards into the secondary, picked up 3 or 4 yards on his own, brings up third down and short for Oak Ridge.
9:48 to go first quarter. First possession for Oak Ridge. It'll be 3rd and 2. We have no score between the Wildcats of Oak Ridge and the Bobcats of Central. District 3 battle here from Blankenship Field. Underwood wide to the left side. I formation once again, Oak Ridge. Johnson, handoff right side, Parrott. He's got first down yardage and more. Inside the 40, down to about the 38-yard line. It'll be 1st and 10 Oak Ridge.
Offensive line is really coming off the ball for Oak Ridge, David. They're exploding off the line. The tempo's been picked up. I've seen more already in this first series of downs than I've seen in the previous 2 ball games for Oak Ridge. They're really accelerating off the line of scrimmage.
9:14, 1st and 10 Oak Ridge. The ball spotted at the Central 39, up to the line of scrimmage once again Oak Ridge. The center, Clint Rash, the first man to the line. Anderson wide to the left side. Down to the right side once again will go Underwood, I believe. Johnson, quarterback, will turn the ball upfield himself. Gets very little yardage at all. Stripped up at the line of scrimmage by Central's number 50, I believe, Mike Farmer.
That was good defense that time by the Central Bobcats, as Oak Ridge is primarily a veer-oriented team, and that time Central came up, had good play by their outside linebacker. The quarterback was able to come up. Gary Johnson, the quarterback for Oak Ridge, decided to keep the ball. That time Central had it defended properly.
Doug Underwood wide to the right side. Kevin Campbell wide left. Oak Ridge back up, 2nd down 10. Once again from the eye, Campbell the fullback, the tailback Drew Parrott. Gary Johnson drops back to pass. Looks down the right side, Underwood free. The pass goes incomplete. It'll be 3rd down 10 facing Oak Ridge from the 39-yard line.
Well, he threw that pass high, David. Anytime you see a quarterback throwing the ball high, you worry about it just a little bit, but I believe this early in the ball game that Gary Johnson is just a little bit too pumped up. He missed that pass long to open this first series for Oak Ridge. That pass was a little long. He's just pumped up. He's got that adrenaline flowing, and look for him to settle down as the game goes along.
Still people fouling in here at Blankenship Field. Looks like a pretty good crowd on hand. Third down, 10 yards to go. Johnson brings him up once again from the 39. Quick handoff goes Campbell on the right side. He gets the ball close to the 35-yard line. It'll be fourth down, 5 yards to go for Oak Ridge.
Doesn't look like Oak Ridge is going to punt, David, as you see Bill Young on the sidelines. They would have sent in the punting team immediately, as now they're going to send Kevin Campbell into the game with a play for Gary Johnson. Fourth down, 5. You really want to look for a pass here, but Oak Ridge has yet to use the reverse out and veer that they used in the Hickson ball game. I don't know if they'll come with it here. They've got 2 wideouts. Could be a pass for Oak Ridge.
Fourth down, a long 5 to go. Johnson from the 35-yard line. Long count. Rolls to the left side, takes the ball field himself, will get first down yardage maybe, depending on where they spot it, right at around the 30-yard line. And we'll have to see exactly where the change of stretch to.
Well, they got an awfully good spot. We're going to have to wait on the measurement there, as it looks like it's going to be close. I think they're going to have to measure, David, it looks like from here.
We have 7:33 to go in the first
No, they're
quarter.
not going to measure.
Referees are looking at it, and no indication yet. He's going to signal first down for Central, so the Oak Ridge defense will come on. So a kind of unusual situation. Oak Ridge thought that they had the first down for the offense, but it'll be Central taking over with the ball at the 30-yard line. LeGrier back out at quarterback for the Central Bobcats. 7:33 to go. Up to line of scrimmage will come the Bobcats. Wide to the right side, they'll send Greg Jackson. They come up from the eye. He looks over. They've got 2 wide receivers off here to the right side behind one another. In motion now will come number 47, Deke Pless, as he rolls to the right side. It looks like a backfield and motion call is going to be assessed against Central, as there was all kinds of movement all over the field. And with 7:32, the referees talking things over. And indeed, the penalty will go against the Central Bobcats. And it'll be illegal procedure called against the Bobcats, and they'll step it off 5 yards.
David, earlier in the week, the story around Central involved the shoulder pad problem that they've had. They bought some new pads. They were shoulder pads that a lot of college teams have used without any problem, but 8 players have suffered slight shoulder separations, and so far we've been told as of game time that there were as many as 4 players that would not play at all because of those shoulder separations. They weren't serious. They were serious enough for the players to miss tonight's game.
First down, 15 yards to go. Once again, LeGrier has the ball. Nobody is going to be fooled that time. It's going to be a loss of yardage all the way back down to the 22-yard line. Nice individual effort by Oak Ridge.
Well, Greg Campbell came in that time, David. As we said, Oak Ridge has used kind of what I want to phrase as a monster man defense by monster man. Greg Campbell is the man who will rotate from side to side. That time they had him on the strong side of the field. He was able to get penetration in the backfield, came up with a big play, a 6-yard loss for the Central Bobcats.
It'll be second down, 17 yards to go for the Bobcats. 6:47 to go, first quarter, opening game from Blankenship Field. Fourth game of the season, Oak Ridge. First time at home in a long time. Central with it, second down, 17. LeGrier hands off, or wants to pass. Going off to the left side, looks downfield. The fan is going to be incomplete, I believe. The intended receiver had the ball deflect off his hands. It was nearly caught by a secondary receiver.
Well, you see that LeGrier really does have poise back there, David. He had the option there to run or pass as he rolled out to the weak side of the field. That time he chose to pass, and he had a man open. Good defense by Oak Ridge. But LeGrier is going to have to be contained tonight if Oak Ridge is going to be successful, much like other quarterbacks we've seen in the high school play. He is one that if he gets loose, he's gonna make some damage happen out there.
Third down, 17 yards to go for Central. Once again, LeGrier rolling off to the right side. This time has the corner, turns it upfield 30. Still on his feet, but dragged down as he tries to make that cut by Oak Ridge. T.J. Parrish making the play for the Wildcats.
An excellent play from his quarterback position. I believe that time they had him at free safety. He did come up at free safety and make a nice play for Oak Ridge. He threw LeGrier down, fourth down and 10. Jamie Redmond back. He's going to be back about the 35-yard line. Oak Ridge again should get good field position on the exchange.
Redmond standing back at his own 35-yard line, as punting will be Rodney Hilton. We've called his name in the pregame quite a bit. We remember him last year. He had a very fine game. Here's the punt. High end over end kick. Redmond fields it at the 35. Comes off to the right, looks for a block. Will not get it, now does. 40. Turns it upfield, 45, 50. 45.
Could be gone. He could be gone.
Right side, still on his feet to the 30. Cuts it back down to the left side, inside to the 27-yard line before he's tackled by Central. And it'll be Oak Ridge. First down, 10 yards to go in beautiful field position.
Well, David, he had a chance to take that one all the way. He cut back into the field of play. I think if he would have made a move to the outside, he might have gone for 6, but at any rate, Oak Ridge takes over in tremendous field position. First and 10 on, let's say, the 27-yard line.
5:33 to go here in the first quarter of play. Up to the line, Oak Ridge. Wide to the right side will go Daryl Miller. Wildcats coming up. The man in the slot on the right side.
There's the reverse out right there, David.
I formation. Here comes the motion. Once again, Underwood to the left side. Johnson, handoff right side up the middle, goes up to Campbell. Campbell gets it up close to the 25-yard line. Pickup of about 3 on the play. It'll bring up second down, 8 yards to go.
Oak Ridge just trying to keep Central honest there, right up the middle. That time with Greg Campbell. David, Oak Ridge looks like they're going to have some success wide if they can get out there. Central really doesn't look like that they're able to get out wide. The Oak Ridge team just looks a little bit quicker at this point in the ball game.
Up to the line of scrimmage will come Oak Ridge. Second down, 8 yards to go, 4:47 to go. This time wide to the left side will go Underwood. Wide to the right side, Blake Anderson. Second down, 8 from the 25-yard line. Johnson a pass, rolls to the left side. Underwood free. The pass goes to him. Complete at the 15, to the 10, to the 5, into the end zone. Touchdown, I believe. Maybe not. They're going to call it out at the 1-yard line. Coach Jim Woofter off to our right, can't believe the call, but it'll be Oak Ridge. First and goal from the 1.
Well, that's a tough call for Oak Ridge, but they've got it first and goal at the 1. Tremendous catch by Doug Underwood. I wish we had the slow-mo replay, David, because that was a beautiful catch. Gary Johnson, again, he's still throwing the ball a little bit high. That time, Underwood was able to come up and make the catch. That's the biggest play so far, I think, by Oak Ridge this year. Tremendous catch and run by Doug Underwood.
4 minutes, 29 seconds to go. Oak Ridge to the line. First down, goal to go from the 1. Underwood wide to the right side. Campbell wide to the left. Backfield split behind Johnson. We have no score here in the first quarter. Johnson handoff. Campbell goes to the goal line. Will not penetrate evidently. And it'll be second down, goal to go from there. And with 4:20 to go, Oak Ridge has been able to move the ball so far here in the first quarter. They went on a 4th and 6 moments ago and didn't make it, but they were moving the ball quite crisply, and they've moved the ball down to the goal line as Daryl Miller brings in the new play from the sideline from Coach Bill Young. Up to the line once again, Oak Ridge. It'll be Underwood wide to the right side, Miller wide to the left. I formation, Campbell, Parrott behind Johnson. Quarterback Johnson across the goal line. Touchdown, Oak Ridge. 3 minutes, 54 seconds to go. The Wildcats on top, 6-0.
Well, just an excellent offensive series for Oak Ridge, David. They did it through the air. That's what they did last year against Central, and I believe they're going to try to work on them a little bit through the air again. We talked to Bill Young during the pregame show. He knew they were successful before, and I believe that Gary Johnson has just given Oak Ridge the excitement that they needed. I don't want to take anything away from Keith Guthrie. I think he'll see action tonight and be a positive force for Oak Ridge, but Gary Johnson has had the excitement that Oak Ridge needed in the season so far.
The ball is down. The kick is on his way. The kick is good. So it's time on the field. Our score, 3 minutes, 54 seconds to go in the first quarter of play. Oak Ridge 7, Central nothing. And we'll be back after this 90-second timeout. And here will be Sam Sampson kicking off for Oak Ridge. Here's a line drive kick. Bounces at the 25, picked up at the 10 by Hilton. He comes off to the right side. I believe it's Hilton. He breaks right through the middle, gets it all up to the 42-yard line, and that's where it'll be Central taking over. First down, 10 yards to go with 3:47 to go in the first quarter of play.
Jim Vines and David Cleary back here at Blankenship Field. The Cats ready to kick off, and the kick is deep down to about the 5-yard line. And let's see who's got it, David. It looks like help. He's going to bring it up to the 30, 35, 40. He's stopped by Oak Ridge at the 41. Oak Ridge he's going to take over first and 10 at the 41. They're coming with no huddle, David.
And they hand it off quickly right up the middle to Hilton, and he gets the ball up to the 45-yard line. And with 3:20 to go, Oak Ridge on top on a 1-yard touchdown by Gary Johnson. As Oak Ridge goes back on defense, second down, 6 yards to go. for the Central Bobcats.
Good offensive surge that time by the Central Bobcats. They really want to get the running game established against Oak Ridge. They run quite regularly. I believe if LeGrier can get the running game going, he will be able to get the passing game intact, but they have to establish the run or Oak Ridge will not give their passing game any respect at all.
Second down, 6 yards to go. LeGrier once again from the backfield split from the 45-yard line, rolls to the right side with the football, turns it up to about the 47-yard line before he's tackled by Parrish. And for Oak Ridge, number 81, also on the stop, and that's John Young.
Young came out from his outside linebacker position that time, David, and made an excellent play. Third down 3. It's a very big play for Central. The pressure's on them. Oak Ridge has stopped them on 2 successive series. Third down 3, big offensive play for Central this early in the ball game.
2:17 to go first quarter. LeGrier brings him up from the 47-yard line, it looks like. Backfield split once again behind him. The running backs are Kirkland and Hilton. Handoff goes, second man through up to about the 50. He's going to be short of first down yardage, caught by Oak Ridge's defense.
Interesting to see what Coach Hilton does right here. He's got fourth down and short, and he's not sending the punting team in. Usually, now they do come into the ball game. So very surprising here, trailing 7-0 at midfield, that they would send the punting team in. That's a moral victory for Oak Ridge, as Oak Ridge has had some success on the punt return so far. We'll see if they fake it here or if they do punt away. If they do punt away, Central seems like they're having a little bit of trouble getting down the field. Redmond has had some running room. We'll see what he does this time.
Rodney Hilton once again to punt for Central. He's got the punt away. It's a line drive bouncing at the 10. Will be all the way down to about the 5-yard line. It's going to take a great Central roll down to the 4, and that's where they'll have it. First down, 10 yards to go, deep in their own territory. The Wildcats will be starting from the 4-yard line. We have 1 minute, 18 seconds to go, and we'll be back here from Blankenship Field after this 30-second timeout. I don't know. Up to the line of scrimmage for Oak Ridge will come the Wildcats. Gary Johnson, a quarterback once again, 1:09 to go. I formation as he calls the play from the 4. Johnson from the 4-yard line. Handoff right side, goes for maybe a yard up to about the 5. Oak Ridge takes it on first down for a yard. Carrying the football, I believe, was Campbell. And it'll be second down and about 9 yards to go.
Oak Ridge not doing anything fancy right now, David. Close to their own end zone there. Pickup of 1 yard, second down 9. I don't look for them to get too fancy here, as the first quarter is probably going to end before this series can come to its conclusion. It's awful tough for Oak Ridge down here. They've got the lead. They don't want to give anything away. They don't want to make any mistakes in their own end of the field. I look for them to be fairly conservative here, although they've got single coverage on both the wideouts.
Handoff goes second man through. It goes off to Parody. Fumbles the football at the 10-yard line. Who's got it? It'll be Central. Picking the football up at the 10. An excellent break, kind of reminiscent of the Jefferson County game last season to open the season.
Well, it definitely was. It was a good stick by Central. Parrott was trying to gain additional yardage on the play, and a lot of times that's when you're susceptible to a fumble. It's when you are trying to stretch for that extra yardage, David. Big break for Central.
And they'll come up. It'll be first down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 11-yard line as they send wide to the right side. Number 47, Deke Pless. And they come up with, from the I formation, Greg Jackson also wide out there. The running backs are Kirkland and Hilton once again, as LeGrier is the quarterback as the first quarter comes to a close. So our score here from Blankenship Field at the end of the first quarter play, the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats 7 and the Central Bobcats nothing. And we'll be back after this 60-second timeout. 12 minutes. All right, we're about to start the second quarter of play here from Blankenship Field. 7-0 our score. Central has the ball at the Oak Ridge 11-yard line after that fumble by the Wildcats.
It's a tough series for the Oak Ridge defense here. They've played tremendous ball all year. Most of the touchdowns, of course, all the points scored in the Hickson ball game last week, David. Oak Ridge was the victim of poor punting, and Hickson took over on Oak Ridge's side of the field, and here we have a fumble. Oak Ridge is fortunate, though, that it's on the 11-yard line. That puts a lot of pressure on the Central team to get it in the end zone. Oak Ridge could stop them, try to hold them to a field goal. There again, that would be a big momentum shift for Oak Ridge.
First down, 10 yards to go from that point. LeGrier wants to roll the left side. He's got some running room, turns it upfield 5, still on his feet to the 4-yard line. Finally tackled by Oak Ridge. A fine first down gain by the quarterback.
Well, Oak Ridge just didn't come up and take the quarterback on as we have a player down on the field for Oak Ridge. We can't tell who it is, but it looks like Cramps the way they're working on him. And I want to say, well, I'm not going to say, David, I'm not going to say who it is. It looks like Parrish, but it's just really too hard to tell from this angle. At any rate, Oak Ridge is not coming up to force LeGrier, the quarterback, to make a decision. That time he was able to get past the defensive line before he had to decide whether to pitch or keep the ball. Once he decided to keep, he just cut back against the grain and picked up some valuable yardage. Going to bring up 2nd down and 2 or 2nd down and 2.5. Look for maybe Central to try to put it in the air for the first or second time tonight.
11:49 to go here in the first half. Oak Ridge scored on a 1-yard sneak by quarterback Gary Johnson with 3:54 to go in the first quarter of play, and Oak Ridge just moved the ball quite crisply down the field. Their 2 possessions, one resulted in a punt, but the second one resulted in the score. A very fine pass play from Johnson to Underwood to set that touchdown up.
David, let's cut it back to the station. Oak Ridge leads 7-0 back after this 30-second timeout.
Player is indeed T.J. Parrish as he comes limping off the field, favoring his left ankle, it would appear, as he's getting assistance from the trainers that are being provided by St. Mary's Medical Center for the first time this year. And with 11:49 to go, to be Central with the ball. 2nd down, 2 yards to go. The ball at the 3-yard line. Oak Ridge on top by a score of 7-0. Up to the line now will come the Wildcats. Parrish still limping off the field as they'll send once again Pless wide to the left side, along with number 87, Greg Jackson. They come up with the same backfield, Kirkland and Helton. P.J. LeGrier, the quarterback for Central, as they come up from the 3-yard line. 2nd down, 2 yards to go. LeGrier looks at the Oak Ridge defense. 2nd down, long count once again. Will roll to the right side, hands it off to number 10, Kirkland. He's hit maybe a yard gain on the play. It'll be 3rd down, 1 yard to go at the ball right at the 2-yard line.
I'm surprised, David, that Central hadn't tried to throw the ball on the 1st or 2nd down, being that close to the goal line. With 3rd down, it looks like we'll call it 1.5 yards or a long yard. I don't know that they're going to risk putting it in the air now, but it really doesn't seem to me that they have the confidence that the coach expressed earlier in the week in their passing game. It would seem like if he had that confidence, they would have thrown by now this close to the end zone.
3rd down, 2. LeGrier comes to the right side, rolling. He's hit, and boom, he'll lose a yard on the play, all the way back down to the 5-yard line. A nice defensive play by Oak Ridge's 91, I believe, and that'll be Steve Shelton. And timeout is going to be asked for by Central. It'll be 4th down and about 3 yards to go where they spun it, and we'll be back after this 60-second timeout. Of course, that 60-second timeout on the radio, of course, and Jim Vines, 10:50 to go. Oak Ridge looking tough on defense.
Well, David, I'm just perplexed a little bit by why Central didn't put the ball in the air there. They had 3 opportunities to get the ball in the air, and Oak Ridge had single coverage on both the wideouts. I don't know why they didn't at least try to throw it one time. LeGrier's a heady enough quarterback. If the pass isn't there, go ahead and throw it away where nobody can get to it. But now they bring up 4th down and about 4 yards to go. If they're forced to pass now, I really don't know that they're up to it, because they don't. It's obvious they don't have the passing confidence that they professed earlier in the week. I wouldn't be surprised to see them line up, try to draw Oak Ridge offsides with the delay game penalty or something of that sort, but that still won't even get them a 1st down. I don't know what they're going to come up with here, but this so far is the biggest play in the game.
$10:50 to go here in the first half of play. 7-0 our score. Oak Ridge on top as Central comes to the line. The line of scrimmage will be the 4-yard line. They've got to get the ball to the 1-yard line for a 1st down as they send Jackson wide to the right side. Off to the left side once again we go. Pless. They come up from the eye. LeGrier at quarterback. Oak Ridge digs in on defense. Very crucial play. LeGrier rolls to the left side. He's got running room. Here comes the man. He'll pass the ball. It's going to be deflected at the line of scrimmage. It'll be Oak Ridge. A great defensive series. Will taking over at the 4-yard line.
I don't know who made the play. It was either Jamie Redmond or John Young. but one of those two batted that ball away as the receiver was open. An excellent call by Central. They rolled out and gave LeGrier the option to run or pass. They brought the defense up, and the receiver was open. Tremendous play by the Oak Ridge defense. First down and 10 for Oak Ridge on the Oak Ridge 5-yard line.
10 minutes, 44 seconds to go. The Wildcats taking over, leading by a score of 7-0. This Oak Ridge crowd has got to cheer for once this season. The Wildcats looking good here in the first half.
Well, they certainly are, David. We've got Kevin Campbell along with, I started to say Alfred Jones, Daryl Miller to receive, and Miller looks like he's got one long if he can catch it.
But it's going to be intercepted at the 35-yard line. A little bit too much touch, it appeared, as it was going to Miller. So once again, that Oak Ridge defense is going to have the ball, have to face the Central team in good field position.
Well, Daryl Miller was open deep, and Gary, you're exactly right, David. Gary just laid it up there a little too soft, and Daryl was never able to come back to get the ball as it was definitely underthrown. Oak Ridge defense, they've had a rough go of it all year long, and Central's going to take over 1st and 10 on the Oak Ridge 33-yard line.
So quickly, just like that, Oak Ridge has Helton coming back to in the backfield as he intercepted that pass, I believe, as it will be LeGrier coming up at quarterback from the 34. 10-22 to go, as it'll be 1st and 10 for Central. In motion once again will come Pless to the right side. LeGrier pitch out right side, goes to Kirkland, turns the right side, will not get away from T.J. Parrish, right back in the ballgame. He's tackled at the 30.
Oh, he picked up about 4 yards that time. It was a nice run by Randolph that time. LeGrier this time opting to pitch the ball. Seems like when he's catching the ball, David, when he's deciding to keep the ball on the pitch, he's not been as successful. That time, he drew the defense in and was able to pitch outside. It was a nice gain, bring up 2nd down. Let's call it 6 for the Bobcats.
9:44 to go. 2nd down, 6 yards to go. Up to the line of scrimmage once again will come the Central Bobcats at the 30-yard line. LeGrier looks at it, calls the play, whistles to go down, and a flag is going to be called. It's going to be a delay of game against Central.
That's a tough call for Central, David. You don't want those mistakes this far into the season, 1st or 2nd game maybe, but this is the 4th ball game for both of these teams, and I know that Coach Helton is very frustrated. That time I think they just had a little indecision as to what players to get into the ball game, and it cost them that time. Bring up 2nd down, looks like 2nd down at 12, ball now at the 34 and a half yard line.
7-0 our score. Oak Ridge on top. LeGrier calls the play from that point. 9:31 to go first half. 2 men wide to the left side. Screen pass to the right is going to be complete. Has running room to the 30-yard line up to the 29. Oak Ridge really pursuing well on defense tonight.
Well, they were, David, but that time the receiver, the intended receiver, no one was within 10 yards of him, and I believe that Central will come back with that play if Oak Ridge continues not to take that man on at the line of scrimmage. An excellent call that time by the coaching staff, and LeGrier executed it very well.
Sophomore Stan Cooper enters the lineup now for Oak Ridge. I believe that's the first time he's seen action, as up to line of scrimmage will come Central.
Well, Stan's a player, David. I've seen him play for a long time, and he's a hitter.
Central, LeGrier rolls to the right side. Pitch out goes once again to Randolph. He turns the ball for 1st down yardage up to about the 20-yard line. A nice play that time by the running back from the Central Bobcats.
Once again, David, I think LeGrier is drawing all the attention as far as the Oak Ridge defense is concerned. When he does come up to the line, there's no one forcing him to pitch where they need to be forcing him. He needs to, for Oak Ridge on the defensive side, they need to force LeGrier to pitch before he gets outside the end or outside the outside linebacker. That time, he's getting well outside, and once he's able to get that far out, he's going to be tough to handle once he pitches the ball.
1st down, 10 from the 20-yard line. LeGrier now rolls to the left side, turns it upfield. Boom! He's hit and pushed back to the line of scrimmage. Might have fumbled the football. We'll have to see. He's going to be called down at about the 17-yard line, but a nice stick by the Oak Ridge defense.
Well, whenever you say a nice stick, David, you know who's the one applying the pads. It was 46, Les Jones. He's been a stellar performer on defense for Oak Ridge all season long, and tonight I don't think is going to be any exception.
2nd down, 6 yards to go. They'll call it at the 17-yard line, maybe the 16. 7:54 to go. Oak Ridge defense has been on the field a long time here in the first half. They lead by a score of 7-0 as LeGrier brings them up once again. Up to line of scrimmage. LeGrier will pass down the right side. The man's there that goes into the end zone. Touchdown, Central. A beautiful pass that time. Oak Ridge was beat on the right side.
Well, David, last year they had a lot of questions about Oak Ridge's defensive secondary. That time I think it was a blown coverage. I believe now, I would have to check with the coaches, but it looked like Gary Johnson had him short and TJ had him long, but I don't believe they communicated that before the snap, and I believe Gary released him, and I don't know if he should have because there was nobody back there to defend him for Oak Ridge.
Carl Messer will attempt the extra point. The ball is down, the kick is up and nearly blocked, but it's up and good. So with time on the field, our score, 7:39 to go in the first half of play. Oak Ridge 7 and the Central Bobcats 7. And we'll be back after this 60-second timeout. 7:39 to go in the first half. 7-7 our score. Central about to kick off to the Wildcats. Redmond back to receive the kick for Oak Ridge. We're about to get set. Ball's on the tee. Here's the kick by Central. Ball is high, spiraling kick fielded by Quayu Grimm. Quay up to the right side, breaks. Quayu Graham gets the kickoff for Oak Ridge, races it up to 20, to the 25, to the 30, up to the 35-yard line before he's tackled by Central. And with 7:30 to go, it'll be Oak Ridge taking over on offense.
Well, David, I know Quayu's getting a lot of exposure for the Oak Ridge team. They have a host of sophomores that are tremendously talented at the skill positions, and Quayu has been the one that has stood out so far. He had a broken thumb or an index finger or something earlier in the JV game, but I believe that as the season goes along, you're going to hear a lot from the sophomores from Oak Ridge.
Lee Burkhardt in at fullback for Oak Ridge, replacing Oak Ridge's Parrott as Campbell gets the pitch down the left side, still on his feet, rambling up to about the 38-yard line. Hit once in the backfield, managed to stumble for about 3 yards. It'll be second down, 7 yards to go. And with 7 minutes to go here in the first half, the Wildcats and Bobcats are tied at 7. Oak Ridge scored in the first quarter on a 1-yard quarterback sneak by Gary Johnson, 3:54 remaining. And then just recently, the Central Bobcats scored on a 16-yard touchdown pass from LeGrere. So up to the line once again will come the Wildcats. Blake Anderson wide to the left side. Up to the line of scrimmage, which is the 37-yard line of Oak Ridge, comes the Wildcats quarterback, Gary Johnson. In motion will come Underwood off to the right side. Wildcats from the eye. Second man goes through, gets the pickoff. That's Campbell. Breaks it open up to the 45, up to the 47-yard line. An excellent run by Greg Campbell.
Well, he cut back against the grain, David. He saw where he originally wanted to go. He didn't have anything there. He cut back to the inside, and if he had a high-stepped it a little bit, I think he'd still be running. Of course, Campbell is not really a high-step runner. He's kind of 4 or 5 yards ahead with his head down, but that time a tremendous cutback, which is something we've not seen from him, but he was just a step or two away from taking that one a long way.
I think that was one of his best runs all season. First down, 10 yards to go from the 47-yard line, 5:58 to go first half. 7-7 our score. Darrell Miller wide to the right side. In motion will come Underwood. Fumbled by Gary Johnson at quarterback. It looks like Central is on it again. And like we saw in the Jefferson County game, Oak Ridge turned the ball over quite a bit. And indeed, Oak Ridge has turned the ball over, and the Central Bobcats will have it.
Well, David, they're snake bit. What can you say? I don't know what the problem was there. I think Gary was holding that ball a little high, and a Central player came through and stripped him of the ball, but that's a tough break for Oak Ridge, and you can only keep the defense out there for so long. Let's see, David, see if we can pick up if Les Jones is in there, or if he's, no, they're still working with him on the sideline, so that puts Chris Groff, number 76, in charge of the defense, as there may be more than the leg cramp wrong with Les Jones. He's still on the sidelines being attended to by the physicians.
First down, 10 yards to go for Central. LeGrere wants to pass. Cream once again. Boom! The man was hit once. He gets away from him, gets up to the 45, turns at the 45, and once again T.J. Parrish will sling the man out of bounds. A pickup of about 5 yards on the play, but it could have been a loss on the play as Oak Ridge missed the tackle in the backfield. And for Central, it'll be second down and 5 yards to go. 5 minutes to go here in the first half of play. 7-7 our score. The Wildcats have turned the ball over on 3 occasions here in this football game, as this time up to the line will come the Bobcats from the 41-yard line. Second down, a long 5 to go, as LeGrere will take the ball himself, sneak it across the 40, hit once, gets hit a second time, gets the ball up to about the 37-yard line, where it'll be short of first down yards. It'll be third and short.
Nice play that time by the defensive secondary as they came up to make the stop. T.J. Parrish and Clint Rash, there's several of them in there on the stop that time, as Chris Groff goes out of the ball game now, as they're going to call for a measurement, David, which they got a tremendously good spot if they're calling for a measurement. I know earlier in the ball game, Oak Ridge went for it on 4th down, and they didn't even measure. This time, they're going to measure for the first down, and I don't see any reason why. It looked like it was well short, but with the spot that they were given by the officials, there's really no way to tell. It looks like to me that it's at least half of the football short of the first down.
Les Jones back in the Wildcat defense. It is indeed going to be short by less than the length of a football, so it'll be that much farther for the Central Bobcats. It'll be third down and less than an inch to go.
David, Oak Ridge has got to get penetration from the offensive line. LeGrier is able to option out, and he's getting way outside the Oak Ridge containment before he decides to pitch or not. If they continue to do that, they're going to give Oak Ridge problems all night long. If Oak Ridge can get some penetration from the outside linebackers and make LeGrier make that decision to pitch earlier, Oak Ridge is going to be a lot more successful at stopping the veer offense for the Bobcats.
He comes up to the line of scrimmage, third down, less than a yard to go. Looks to the Oak Ridge defense, backfield split. It'll be Hilton and Randolph once again. LeGrier, handoff goes to Randolph. He's got first down yardage up to about the 31-yard line. And with 4:09 to go, the Central offense has had a lot of shots at the football here in the first half, as Oak Ridge, like I said, has turned the ball over 3 different times. They've had one sustained drive for a touchdown and another drive which resulted in a punt. And other than that, the Wildcats have turned the ball over.
David, Les Jones now back in the lineup for Oak Ridge. He's in there at linebacker. We'll try to watch him on this play and see how he's moving. They worked on him for a long time over there on the sidelines. With him back in, you assume it's cramps. We'll see how he performs.
First down, 10 yards to go from the 31-yard line of Oak Ridge. Central LeGrier, he'll pass once again. Looks down the right side, the same play. This time it's going to be deflected by the receiver. Incomplete. It'll be second down, 10 yards to go.
Good defense that time by Oak Ridge. You had T.J. Parrish and Greg Campbell back there along with John Spratlin. Another sophomore, David, seeing some action here tonight as he was in at one of the cornerbacks for the Wildcats.
We've seen a lot of sophomores in the last 2 ball games. Coach Young getting those young players in that should be an experienced bunch down the road.
Well, David, they're skilled players. They really know how to play. They've played a lot of football. They hit hard. They're young and they don't have a lot of size, but they're only in 10th grade. They'll get a little bit bigger with age.
Second down, 10 yards to go. LeGrier rolls to the right side, hit as he makes the pitch off to the right, goes for about 3 yards, but that time the quarterback really paid for it.
Well, he did, David. That time, big number 75 for Oak Ridge, and of course, Kevin Hartley, who we're talking about, came in there and put some pressure on LeGrier, and that time he had to make the pitch. We see Les Jones is still hobbling out there, David. He's not even 90% out there. They're going to have to make some adjustments as we see there's a flag on the play.
And I believe it's going to be face masking against Oak Ridge, so when Oak Ridge makes a good play, they cause little problems, and this time it's going to be stepped off indeed for first down yardage inside the 20-yard line, all the way down to the 15-yard line, and that's where the Central Bobcats will have it once again in great field position after a Wildcat mistake.
Well, it'll be first and 10, David, and they're inside Oak Ridge's 15-yard line. Stan Cooper just came out of the ball game. We see Spratlin still in there. In the secondary, you've got Les Jones, Campbell, T.J. Parrish, Redmond, and I can't pick up the last one there. Looks like Chris Groff.
First down, 10 yards to go from the 15-yard line. Central. LeGrier, pitch out on the reverse on the left side. It goes off for about 3 yards. That's all. He's going to be punished at the 13-yard line. Carrying the football for the Central Bobcats was number 43, Doug Dodson.
Well, and a good stick that time by T.J. Parrish. Redmond stayed at home and did a good job defensively for Oak Ridge as Central tried to mix things up a little bit. Redmond came up to force the play, and it was T.J. could have laid off of him there, but he put his shoulder down and he made the runner pay for it that time. Nice stick by T.J. Parrish.
2 men wide to the right side. Spratlin single coverage against a very tall player for the Central Bobcats, Greg Jackson. Second down, 8 yards to go from the 13. LeGrier hands it off to his second man through, maybe a yard on the play. It'll be third down, a long situation facing the Central Bobcats as Hilton carries the football for Central.
Well, David, I don't know how many times we're going to keep commenting on the play of Les Jones. He's everywhere. A lot of people have gotten press during the preseason for Oak Ridge, but Les Jones has been the one that's been performing all season long, and he's out there right now with a leg cramp, and you can see that he's hobbling out there. Another tremendous play by Les Jones.
Third down, 6 yards to go for Central. The ball right at the 10-yard line of Oak Ridge. 1:58 to go. LeGrier rolls to the right side, turns it upfield to the 5. He'll not get first down yardage as he's tripped at about the 7-yard line on a pretty good, decent play by Oak Ridge's number 46, Les Jones, once again.
David, like I said, he's all over the field, and I believe that's going to cause Central to take another timeout. Let's take one ourselves, David. It's 7-7 here at Blankenship Field, 1:44 to go. Let's take a 30-second timeout back after this timeout.
I need to get this in. Quickly, Central comes back to the line of scrimmage as it'll be 4th down, 2 yards to go from the 6. Rolling to the left side, LeGrier fumbles the football. It's going to be pounced upon by Central at the 20-yard line, but it'll be Oak Ridge taking over at the 20-yard line.
Well, David, John Young is the man that made that play right there. He came through and made a tremendous stick on the defensive side of things. He came up from his outside linebacker position, and he caused LeGrier to make the mistake. That's what they've needed to do all game long, David. If they can make LeGrier make his decision in between the tackles, they're going to be successful in stopping the option. If not, it's going to be a long night. That time, John Young was up to the task.
1 minute, 29 seconds to go as Oak Ridge comes up to the line. 1st and 10 from the 20. Johnson rolling to the left side, plenty of time. Now that breaks down, gets around the left side, throws the ball across the way, incomplete. The pass was off the fingertips of the intended receiver, and it could have been picked off by Central.
It was a tough pass for Gary, rolling out to his left, tried to stop and throw back across the grain. I think if he had set himself just a little bit more, he might have had that completion. But Gary's awful pumped up out there, David, and you can handle those areas of enthusiasm. He is being high, though. You worry about a quarterback when he's throwing everything high. He's just got to follow through. I think he's releasing that ball a little high. He needs to plant that foot and throw forward, but I think as the game goes along, he'll start doing that.
In motion to the right side, once again, we'll go Underwood. Perry gets the handoff up to the 25-yard line. Pickup of about 6 on the play. It'll be 3rd down, 4 yards to go. 1 minute, 5 seconds to go.
David, I wouldn't be surprised to see Oak Ridge taking the timeout here. I don't know why they're not, but the way it looks right now, Oak Ridge is trying to get something going. They're having a little trouble getting the play in. As Darryl Miller's bringing it in, they're going to have to hurry to get this play off.
Darryl Miller quickly brings it into Gary Johnson. The line of scrimmage right at the 24. 3rd down, 5 yards to go as Underwood and Miller wide to the right side. Oak Ridge comes up from the eye. Once again, Campbell. It'll be no coverage at all as Johnson rolls to the right side. Plenty of receivers open. The pass goes across the middle. Incomplete. It was intended for the tight end Daniel Carter at the 37-yard line, but it fell incomplete. And with 31 seconds to go, it'll be 4th down and about 5 yards to go for Oak Ridge, and the punting unit comes onto the field. And so our score, 7-7. The Wildcats on top. They scored on a 1-yard quarterback sneak by Gary Johnson. The Wildcats, like Jim Vines has been snake bit here in the first half. They've turned the ball over on 3 occasions. One time inside the 10-yard line, and that resulted in the score. Actually, it was a 16-yard touchdown pass in the second quarter with 7:39 to go. Oak Ridge wants to call timeout, and indeed they do with 31 seconds to go. And as I was trying to say moments ago, Jim Vines, the Wildcat Boosters Club has been assisting the Oak Ridge football sports in many ways over the years. One of the traditions is for the team and coaches to have a Thursday evening dinner together. Sometimes the booster members take care of and cook for the team at one time at one of the churches in the local community. Sometimes a local business will invite them to dinner. The football boosters wish to thank the following merchants for providing dinner for the team this year: Danvers, Domino's Pizzas, Garden Plaza Hotel, Western Sizzlin' Steakhouse, and Linda Brown Realty. Individual member applications are available from any club members. Support the Wildcat Booster Club, and indeed it is a great organization. It has assisted the Oak Ridge teams over the years.
Oh, they certainly have, David, and we appreciate them. Without them, the football team would not generate the support that it does, and the boosters do support all the sports programs, not just football, basketball, or baseball like a lot of people think, but soccer, tennis, cross country, and on down the line. A tremendous organization.
Oak Ridge will punt. The punt is away. Sampson looks like he was blocked into. He's limping away from it. The punt is going to take a bounce at about the 45-yard line, still rolling down to about the 41. And that's where Central will have it. 1st down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 41-yard line. We have 20 seconds to go here in the first half of play. 7-7 our score. This is David Clary, Jim Vines, and Peter Simons doing stats tonight. John Hope from Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7 as well. And we're glad you've tuned in on another exciting evening of Oak Ridge High School football, whether live on WATO or on the cable tape replay. From the 41-yard line, the Central Bobcats, 10 seconds to go as they'll call their final timeout. The Bobcats do as LeGrier goes off to the sideline. We'll send it back to the station once again. We'll be back after this 60-second timeout. On our score, 10 seconds to go here in the first half. Central 1st and 10 from the 41-yard line. 10 seconds to go. First down, 10 yards to go. LeGrier from the 41-yard line. In motion for Central will go number 20, Zachary. Rolling to the right side to pass will go LeGrier. Looks down the field, will throw the bomb. Long and high. It's going to be almost intercepted, and indeed intercepted by T.J. Parrish at the 35-yard line as the first half has come to a close. So our score here from the Oak Ridge High School Blankenship Field, 7-7 our score. This is David Clary, Jim Vines, and Peter Simons, and we'll be back after this 90-second timeout. David Clary, John Hope, Jim Vines, and Peter Simons here on Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7. We look for an exciting second half of play, 7-7 our score. You know, the Wildcat Boosters Club wishes to thank the following merchants for providing Thursday evening's dinners for the team and coaches: Danvers, Domino's Pizzas, Garden Plaza Hotel, Western Sizzlin Steakhouse, and Linda Brown Realty. Not really a paid advertisement. We just like to thank them for their support of Oak Ridge High School football. We're back here at Blankenship Field, 27 seconds before the start of the second half. Oak Ridge will be receiving. Like we said, Oak Ridge will send Quayu Graham along with Jamie Redmond back to receive the kick. Of course, earlier in the season, Quayu Graham returned a kick at Jefferson County, some 85 yards for the Wildcats' only touchdown against the Patriots. 7-7 our score, and the Wildcats trying to win their first game of the 1986 season. They played some good football against Halls. They played a pretty good game last week against Hicks, and the Wildcats by far their best outing. They don't have the yards offensively because the offense has not been on the field that much as they turned the ball over a couple times, but as usual, the defense has been very strong. And it'll be Redmond, Quayu Graham back to receive the kick along with number 32 for the Oak Ridge Wildcats, John Elam, and it'll be Central to kick off. We're about set as the clock is still ticking down. The electric clock operator had it set momentarily, but once again they have a problem. Still a pretty good crowd on hand here. There was a threat of rain before the ball game, but a lot of people have filed into the Blankenship Field for the first game of the 1986 season. We're glad you've tuned in, whether here live on Radio 1290 WATO or on Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7. The tape replay on Saturday if you're listening to it live on WATO, and of course you can hear the audio if you're in the west end of town and have trouble listening to WATO. Sometimes it doesn't get the higher portions of West Outer Drive at the end of the street. You can listen to it on Channel 7. We're about to get things set here from Blankenship Field. The second half of play, it'll be the Bobcats to kick off, and here's the kick from Blankenship. High kick, a little bit shorter this time, fielded by Redmond at the 15. Comes off to the 20, cuts right to the 25, still on his feet, 30, still down to the 31-yard line before he's tackled by Steve Shepard for the Central Bobcats. So it'll be Oak Ridge. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 31-yard line. 7-7 our score. This is David Clary along with Jim Vines and Peter Simons. Jim will be joining us in a few minutes. And up to the line of scrimmage will come the Wildcats. Wide to the left side will go Kevin Campbell. The backfield, the quarterback remains the same. Gary Johnson, the backfield, the fullback. Greg Campbell, the tailback, will be Parrott. He gets the call, gets it up to the 35-yard line, carrying for about 3 yards. It'll be second down and about 7 yards to go. I guess you enjoyed talking to Coach Steve Shipley. I had the pleasure of talking to him all season long last year. He's really an interesting guy and a very good coach.
Well, he is, David. I'm a little bit late getting back to the press box. Me and him we got off on a little bit of basketball there. I don't want to admit that to anybody in the heart of football season, but he's an exciting coach, and he's brought some enthusiasm to a sport that Oak Ridge really supported in the past. And let's get off of basketball and back to the game.
Second down, 7. Quick handoff goes Campbell. He has the ball up to about the 37-yard line. It's going to be third down and about 5 yards to go. 10:49 to go here in the third quarter of play, that is. 7-7 our score. And Darrell Miller comes in from the sideline with a new play from head coach Bill Young.
David, you covered the stats there at halftime, and Oak Ridge is just not generating any offense. 68 yards total offense. Offensively running the ball 43 yards. Second half, they've just got to hang on to the ball. 2 fumbles, they lost them both. A pass interception. They're not going to win if they don't do a little bit better here in the second half.
Third down and 5. A reverse to Underwood down the right side. Cuts it up 40. Still on his feet to the 42-yard line, but I believe he'll be about a yard short of first down yardage, depending on exactly where they'll spot it.
Big play for Oak Ridge, David. Coach Young sitting there on the sidelines. He's not sure, really, is there a call for a measurement. Let's take a 30-second timeout. It's 7-7 with 10:05 to go. Back after this 30-second timeout. so sure they're going to punt here. Let's just see what happens.
The fullback, of course, is Greg Campbell, always capable of running the football. It's just about the length of a football short of a first down, and with 10:05 to go, we saw Oak Ridge going on 4th down earlier, and we'll see exactly if they do indeed want to punt. The snap goes to Sampson. He's got the punt away. It's high kick, high spiral off to the 20-yard line. Oak Ridge has good. He fumbles the football. Down he'll go right at the 25-yard line, and that's what Central will take over. First down, 10 yards to go, 9:48 to go in the third quarter.
So David, we've got a player down, Clint Brash, as he's up and hobbling. He's one of the 3 or 4 starters for Oak Ridge. He's been hobbling throughout the season, and he's over here at the sideline. He looks okay, but I'm not really sure. He came down and converged on the receiver. Tough play, tough break for Oak Ridge if he's to go out because he starts both ways.
Up to the line of scrimmage once again becomes Central. First down, 10 yards to go from the 24-yard line, 9:37 to go third quarter. 7-7 our score. Handoff, second man through goes to Kirkland. He's got the ball up to the 30-yard line, and it'll be second down and about 5 yards to go. 7-7, 9:23 to go. We're glad you've tuned in, like I said, either on the radio live or on Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7, the tape replay, as the play comes from Joel Hilton, the head coach of the Central Bobcats, and off to the right side wide will go number 87, Greg Jackson, as Oak Ridge digs in on defense. They've been on the field quite a bit during this football game. Second down, 5, 9 minutes to go. LeGrier, the quarterback, backfield split. Handoff goes first man through for great yardage across the 35-yard line and close to first down yardage. It will indeed be a first down. Carrying the football once again was Kirkland.
That time, David, both the inside linebackers for Oak Ridge took the inside pursuit. It was just a matter of Central had the right play called that time as both of the linebackers converged into the middle, and the Bobcats are running off tackle. Nice play, picked up first down. Nice play for Central.
From the 36-yard line, LeGrier brings them up once again, 1st and 10. Backfield split, once again, handoff quickly goes to the second man through as he goes across the 40-yard line up to the 41. Once again, that's Rodney Helton carrying the football for Central.
David, Central's made some adjustments here at halftime. They're starting to run more north and south as LeGrier, I believe they assumed that Oak Ridge would adjust to stop the veer, and I'm sure they did because Oak Ridge was just letting him get too far outside. So it's kind of like a chess match. Central's anticipated Oak Ridge's defense, and now they've gone to a straight split backfield and running straight ahead.
Handoff goes once again to the Hilton, I believe, maybe Kirkland. I couldn't quite catch his number. He comes crashing across the 45 up to about the 47-yard line, and it will be a first down at the 47-yard line. And there was a player number change on the roster, and I believe that's Kirkland.
Okay, David, whoever it was, they got stuck really hard, and he's walking awful soft back there in the backfield.
7:47 to go from the 47-yard line. 1st and 10, Central moving the ball on this first possession of the second half of play. LeGrier once again comes up from the eye, press in motion off to the left side. Hands off this time, nowhere. He gets banged at the 45-yard line, lost 2 on the play.
That time was big number 76, Chris Groff, along with John Young. No, excuse me, not John Young. Number 91 instead of 81. That was Steve Shelton. Groff and Shelton both combined to make the stop that time for Oak Ridge. Oak Ridge now, I would assume, is trying to adjust on defense to this straight-ahead offense by Central. The linebackers are starting to get penetration in the backfield. Let's see if Central counters and goes back to the veer.
Second down, 12 yards to go for the Central Bobcats, right at the 45-yard line of Central. 7 minutes to go. Pitch out quickly on the right side. Gets away from one man. Strips and falls as he comes across the 50. Fumbles the football. Central pounces upon it, and they gained about 3 on the fumble.
Well, they did, David. That time, Shelton, number 91, did an excellent job turning the play inside. But once he turned it inside, the pursuit was just not there. Oak Ridge is a little slow getting to the flow. There were a lot of people out there on the corner. Shelton did a good job making everybody turn inside, but there was nobody there when the running back turned in. Big third down play for Central.
3rd and 2 from the Oak Ridge 45-yard line. And LeGrier looks over the Oak Ridge defense, looks at his own offensive alignment. From the eye, they now split to the split backfield right behind the quarterback. 3rd down, a long 2. Handoff, second man through, stumbles close to first down yardage, depending on exactly where they're spotted. He gets the ball inside the 45. We'll see where the referees put the ball down.
That's going to be a tough spot there. It's going to be hard to say. They're taking a long look at it, and they're saying, as we hold here while they all take a look at it, let's measure for it, David. Let's take time out.
So a time on the field, our score, 5:54 to go, 7-7 our score, and we'll be back in 30 seconds.
Fourth down, Bobcats.
David Clary, Jim Vines, it'll be 4th and 1, and punting the football is Central. Line drive kick. It's going to go, let's see, into the end zone, I believe. It'll be a touchback. Oak Ridge will have it. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at their own 20-yard line. 5:30 to go, third quarter of play. 7-7, Oak Ridge and Central District 3 game. The first game here at Blankenship Field for the Oak Ridge Wildcats.
Well, the big game it is, David. Oak Ridge takes over first and 10 on the 20. Gary Johnson still at quarterback. Kevin Campbell in at one wide receiver along with Doug Underwood. The backfield looks like Campbell, and we can't see the other guy. The quarterback, of course, is Gary Johnson. Very important possession for Oak Ridge. They've made a lot of mistakes in the ball game. As we see, 41 Parrott will be the tailback. Big possession here. They need at least 1 or 2 first downs.
Johnson from the 20-yard line, first down 10. Rolls to the right, pitches to the left, gives it off to Parrott. He gets across the 20, flags are down. And it was a pickup on the play of about 3 yards for the senior running back. We'll have to see what the call is. Referee's conferring. It's going to go against Oak Ridge.
Either a hold or a crackback, David. I believe from where the flag was thrown, and it is a hold.
So they'll step off the penalty against Oak Ridge. The Wildcats, when they've had the ball deep like this, they've made some mistakes. They fumbled at one time at the 10-yard line. The Oak Ridge defense rose to the occasion that time, and as they got the ball back immediately, an intercepted pass at the 35-yard line was eventually taken in for the tying touchdown by LeGrare with 7:39 to go in the second quarter. And they're going to indeed step the ball back to the 20-yard line, back to, the 11-yard line. And it'll be first down and about 19 yards to go from there.
Blake Anderson in the game now for Oak Ridge. We see Greg Campbell going out. That'll put Jamie Redmond and Drew Parrott in the backfield along with Gary Johnson. We see Quayu Graham in for the first time tonight at wide receiver.
11-yard line. Johnson will pass across the way, complete. Anderson breaks it free, 25-30, 35-40, breaks it open, 45-50, 50, 45, 30, still in SV, 25-20, 15-10, 5, touchdown, Oak Ridge.
Well, David, all he did, he hit him with that quick opener. Gary Johnson was on the, Gary Johnson raised up, looked to the weak side of the field and had single coverage all night long. That time, give him a lot of credit. We called his number 27, Blake Anderson, and said he was into the ball game, and he contributes immediately. Biggest play of the game for Oak Ridge in 1986.
An 89-yard touchdown return, and that goes into the record books.
Well, David, it's a lot reminiscent of last year's Alfred Jones catch for Dean Williams in the Hickson ball game. It was a quick opener, and once he got in the open field, he had nobody ahead of him, and he showed a little speed there, David. A couple people had the angle on him. Tremendous job.
And so it'll be Sam Sampson to attempt the point after. The ball is down. The kick is up. The kick is good.
The big play's back at Oak Ridge, David.
4:58 to go in the third quarter of play. The Oak Ridge High School Wildcats 14, I believe. They have yet to signal it up on the scoreboard, but I believe the kick indeed was good. And with time on the field, our score, Oak Ridge 14 and Central 7. And we'll be back after this 30-second timeout. .458 to go. 14-7, the Wildcats, an 89-yard touchdown reception from quarterback Gary Johnson to Blake Anderson.
Well, the key, David, was the quick release by Gary Johnson. He got rid of the ball early before the defensive back had a chance to get up to the line of scrimmage. Gary Johnson did a tremendous job on the release. He got rid of the ball early. Blake knew what to do with it. He turned upfield. He had one man to beat. Good call, good execution.
14-7 our score, and for Oak Ridge it'll be Sampson kicking off once again for Oak Ridge. Back to receive the kick for Central will be Hilton, I believe. Here's the kick. High kick, a little bit shorter this time. It's going to be fielded at the 10. Coming to the right side, it comes back to the middle. 15, bang. He's down at the 26-yard line, and that'll be Central taking over. First down, 10 yards to go.
David, you can see it on the sidelines right now. The players that aren't in the ball game, it's the first time this year that I've seen them fired up like this on the sideline. For Oak Ridge defense right here, this is the first time in the ball game that they feel like they have the momentum going their way. They've got Central on their own end of the field. Big possession for Central.
Up to the line of scrimmage they come. Trailing once again. The Wildcats jumped off to a 7-0 lead, and Central tied it in the second quarter. 4:27 to go here in the third quarter. Oak Ridge 14, Central 7. Bobcats with the ball at the 26. Once again, handoff up the middle. Boom! He's down once again. The defense is really fired up.
Well, they are, David, and it's going to inspire the rest of the ball club. As you see, the defense really is fired up. We've got a player injured on the field. David, let's take a 60-second timeout. Oak Ridge on top 14-7. Back after the 60-second timeout.
David Clary, Jim Vines, and Peter Simons, John Hope on camera here on Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7. We're glad you've tuned in for another exciting season of Oak Ridge High School football on Channel 7. This is about, counting the time I was in the high school class, about the 10th year that I've been bringing the play-by-play, and Jim Vines was doing it before me. So we've been doing these games for a lot of years, seen a lot of good teams.
Well, we have, David, and the person I want to give a lot of credit to is your older brother. When I was a sophomore, I used to run and go get the newspapers for him while he was doing the play-by-play, and he taught me an awful lot about doing the ball games here.
Central has the ball, second down, 9 yards to go. The ball right at the 29-yard line as timeout is called. Once again, both teams are at the football, and with 4:04 to go, 14-7 our score. The Wildcats are on top here after an 89-yard touchdown return by Blake Anderson. Second down, 9. Central rolls. LeGrier pitch out right side, fumbles the football, picks it right back up, and he goes down at the 30-yard line. And we're back here at Blankenship Field, and a nice play that time by Oak Ridge.
Greg Anderson that time came up with a big stick, as looks like Les Jones again down with a cramp. TJ Parrish also with a cramp. We got a new player in for Oak Ridge, and I'm scrambling around trying to find my roster here, David.
Stan Cooper, wasn't it?
Yeah, Stan Cooper one more time into the ball game. That time Oak Ridge got penetration into the backfield. As I mentioned on the last series of downs, Central has come back with the veer offense. This time Oak Ridge did make the adjustment. They're getting penetration before LeGrier gets to the outside. Nice defensive play for Oak Ridge, third down 8.
From the 30-yard line, LeGrier will pass, rolling to the right side. Here comes the pressure. One man has him, and almost intercepted by Cooper on the left side. Excuse me, that's number 3, maybe
John Spratling.
Another sophomore we call, so it'll be Oak Ridge's defense rising to the occasion, and Central will punt the ball as Jamie Redmond drops back deep to receive the kick.
You also have to give credit that time to Steve Shelton, number 91. He's come into the ball game, David, and he's playing an excellent game there at the outside linebacker position. He came in that time and put a lot of pressure on LeGrier. He's been doing it since about the second quarter, and it's really paid off for Oak Ridge.
Central punting from the 30-yard line. The punt is quickly away. High kick, long spiral. Jamie Redmond just watches it sail over his head. Needs to pick the ball up. It's going to go inside the 10-yard line, and Central will down it at the 5-yard line. A very poor mistake in judgment that time by Redmond. He had at least 15 yards if he wanted to pick the ball up, but they'll be backed up once again back at the 5-yard line. I guess he's been told if he can't catch the ball just to let it bounce, but that time it didn't work in the Wildcats' favor. 2 minutes, 51 seconds to go. The Wildcat offensive unit comes out on the field. Gary Johnson has gone all the way at quarterback for the Oak Ridge Wildcats and has done a fine job. He came on in the game last week at Hickson for Keith Guthrie, who had to leave that game because he became ill during the ball game, and Johnson has done a fine job replacing him in this ball game. From the I formation, Johnson rolls the ball upfield, almost fumbles, trips and goes to the 10, to the 5, breaks it once again, breaks it open, 25-30, almost broke 3, one man to beat as he drives the ball up to the 29-yard line.
Oh, David, I was a half a step away from one of my predictions coming true once again. I'm convinced that one of these quarterbacks for Oak Ridge is going to break a long one. That time Gary cut back against the flow, and he was a half a step away from taking that one all the way.
2 minutes, 22 seconds to go here in the third quarter of play. 14-7, Oak Ridge on top. Wide to the left side will go Kevin Campbell. Wide to the right, Doug Underwood. Johnson brings him up from the I, 1st and 10 from the 29-yard line. Johnson, pitch out right side, a reverse to Underwood on the left. He looks like he wants to throw, looks downfield, the pass is down there, it's going to go to Campbell, incomplete. It was intended for Kevin Campbell, like I said, at the 47-yard line. That's the first time I've seen Oak Ridge run that play.
Well, and he threw it a long way. Now, they ran it once before, but they used Gary Johnson up in Jefferson County, David. That time they used Doug Underwood, and that's the first time that a receiver really has tried to think about throwing the ball. I think they tried to do it once in the Hickson game, but it wasn't there, so he just took it down and ran with it. That's going to keep the Central team off guard. Look for him to come back with that and maybe have the guy pull down and run with it.
2 minutes to go here in the third quarter of play. Anderson wide to the right side. Wide to the left side will go, I believe, Underwood on the left.
It's the same defense that scored the touchdown right here.
And once again, Johnson wants to take the ball himself and will not get much any room at all as he gets the ball across the 30, maybe up to the 31-yard line. It'll be third down and long facing Oak Ridge.
Well, they had single coverage again on both the wideouts that time, David. I would not be surprised to see Oak Ridge come back with that quick in, I guess a look-in pattern to one of the wide receivers. The Central's laying off those wide receivers about 4 or 5 yards. If Johnson can get the ball to him quick, they have another 6 points.
Darrell Miller now lines up wide to the left side. The Wildcats come up from the I. Man in a slot, that's Underwood once again. Tight end set on the right, that's Daniel Carter. Third down, 7 yards to go from the 30-yard line. Johnson long count. Handoff goes on the right side, goes to Oak Ridge's Redmond in the backfield. He's going to be hit in the backfield, pushed back to the 30-yard line. That'll be fourth down, 8 facing Oak Ridge.
Well, that's a big play right here. Oak Ridge needs to get a good punt off, and the kicking game has been a little bit suspect here, David, as of late. So far tonight they're doing okay, but now this is a big punt for Oak Ridge. They need to keep Central on their side of the ball field. The Oak Ridge defense has worked hard tonight. We're just about the end of the third quarter, but this is a very important exchange for Oak Ridge.
Fourth down, 8 yards to go. Like Jim Vine said, 42 seconds to go in this third quarter play. The Wildcats lead by a touchdown, 14-7. Snap, the punt is away. High spiraling kick coming off to the 25-yard line, coming to the right side. With it will come Central. One man gets him. He's still being hit as he tries to move the ball upfield. He's going to be tackled by Oak Ridge, and Central will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at their own 33-yard line after the return by Kerry Zachary.
Well, Darren Light really finished off the tackle right there. The first man down stood him up, and Darren could have eased off of him, but he was still standing up, and he put the pads to him. That's the enthusiasm that's been missing in the first 3 ball games, David. Oak Ridge is hitting tonight.
Once again, you were talking about Les Jones being kind of hobbled tonight. I just saw Clint Rash kind of hobble off. You talked about that a little bit earlier, but they're still in the ball game.
Well, they are, and they're playing 110% tonight. It's the first time this year that I've seen them give that extra effort.
Pitch out goes right side. Sun running room. It goes off to Zachary once again. He turns the ball up to about the 35-yard line. Pickup of about 4 on the play. It'll be second down and about 6 for the Central Bobcats.
Well, that time, David, we had sophomore Spratlin out there, number 3, and I believe he got a little bit too excited. He got sucked in a little bit, as you just clued me to the fact that we're at the end of the third quarter. Take us out from here.
So our score as we go in the fourth and final quarter of this football game, the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats 14 and the Central Bobcats 7. We'll be back in 60 seconds. Second down, 7 yards to go. 14-7 our score. LeGrier pitches out, fumbles the football, and it's going to be jumped on by Helton back at the 27-yard line. That time Oak Ridge got good penetration, and the quarterback pitched an errant pitch.
Well, and it was John Young one more time, David Clary, and also I'm trying to find the numbers as fast as I can. It was 73, Derek Golden in there on the stop. Both of them converged on LeGrier before he could get outside. That's been the key to the ball game. In the first quarter, midway through the second quarter, LeGrier was able to get outside to make the pitch. Oak Ridge adjusted at halftime. Now when he goes outside, he doesn't get anywhere. He doesn't get outside the outside linebacker before somebody's putting the pads on him. That's been the difference here in the second half.
Very important District 3 contest between the Wildcats and the Bobcats. Fourth quarter action, third down, 14 yards to go. Handoff goes for nothing. It's caught at the 30-yard line. Maybe a yard on the play. It'll be fourth down and long as Quayu Graham enters the contest. Now he'll return the kick for Oak Ridge. Jamie Redmond comes out. 11:03 to go here in the football game. The Wildcats on top by a score of 14-7. And once again, it'll be Helton, I believe, to punt the ball away for Central.
Now we got back deep Quayu Graham, number 8 for Oak Ridge, and he's standing at about the 35-yard line. It's kind of a line drive, very returnable kick. And Quayu fumbles the ball, but he covers his own fumble. And Oak Ridge, I believe, they haven't signaled anything yet. There are 3 or 4 Central players down there, but I believe it's going to be Oak Ridge with the ball first and 10 on the 35-yard line.
And so the Wildcat offensive unit comes on the field once again. Gary Johnson, who's done a very fine job in his opening start as the quarterback for the Wildcats in front of a big Blankenship crowd.
Well, David, his stats aren't exactly what he would want them to be, but it's the leadership out there that's been impressive. It's what Coach Young talked about, the look in his eyes. He's got that, and I believe right now he's got the team behind him.
It'll be first down, 10 yards to go from the 35-yard line. Oak Ridge Johnson. Handoff goes this time to Parrott. He scrambles and stumbles his way to the 40-yard line, pickup of about 5.
Nice job on the offensive line that time by Oak Ridge as we see some more new faces for the Cats coming in. Donald Field coming in now, one of the wide receivers, as we see Daryl Miller bringing the play in from Coach Young. 2nd down 5, as you called it, David. We're just over 10 minutes to go in the ball game. Oak Ridge on top, 14-7.
Miller wide to the left side. Donnell Field wide to the right side. Wildcats with the football from the 39-yard line. As the handoff goes, Parody gets across the 43-yard line up to about the 44. It'll be about a yard or two short of a first down. 9:44 to go in the football game. Oak Ridge looking for victory number 1 in the 1986 season. Of course, the district games, the very most important. The Wildcats, like we talked about in the pregame show, and I'm sure most of the fans out there know if the Wildcats can win the remaining district games, they'll qualify for the 2nd slot in the District 3 position going into the state playoffs.
Well, kind of 2nd spot. We don't know if anybody's going to go undefeated yet, but you're exactly right. With 1 loss, right now 2nd is about as anybody could hope for with 1 loss in the district.
14-7 our score. Gary Johnson handoff for 2nd man through for nothing. He'll not get the first down. It'll be 4th down and about 1 yard to go, and we can see Coach Woofter, the offensive coordinator, quite upset with the execution that time by his offensive unit.
Well, the offensive line is just not getting off the ball on that possession right there, and I know they're frustrated at that. They've been moving the ball well, but they just couldn't get off the ball on that play. It looked like Central was stacked up pretty tough inside. I don't know if they knew what Oak Ridge was going to run that time, but they certainly were prepared for it.
We might want to shield our microphones as Coach Woofter explodes into the hallway right behind us. 8:34 to go. 14-7 our score. It'll be 4th down, 2 yards to go. Sam Sampson in to punt the ball away for Oak Ridge. Way back to receive the kick goes 2 players for the Central Bobcats. A big gap as too many players on the field. It'll be a delay of game called against Oak Ridge, and that'll back them up another 5-yard line. The kicking game has caused problems in the first ball games. That's the first time really this ball game that we've seen some kind of a problem.
Well, the last punt too was an excellent one for Oak Ridge, and really that doesn't hurt them too bad, David. They're still going to punt the ball from about I don't know, looks like about the 37-yard line. They should keep Central inside the 35 if they have a good exchange and good coverage downfield. So far tonight, the special teams, Oak Ridge just seems to be a little bit quicker than Central. We'll see how they handle this exchange.
Good snap. The punt is away, nearly blocked, and it is indeed blocked. And it takes a good Oak Ridge bounce, thank goodness for the Cats. And it's going to be downed at the 50-yard line. And that time, good penetration by Central.
Well, David, I want to say it's good penetration, but on the other hand, the halfback back there next to the punter has to come up and take on that guy that breaks clear. That time, I believe the halfback back there waited on the contact instead of initiating it. I believe if he had gone up to meet the guy rushing, that Sampson would have got the punt off. At any rate, it's the ball at midfield for Central. Big break for the Bobcats.
Exactly 8 minutes to go here in the football game. 14-7 our score. LeGrier with the ball, rolls to the left side, looks down the field. Here comes Oak Ridge. Boom! He's going to be sacked behind the line of scrimmage, all the way back down to the 41-yard line. An excellent fake, I thought, but Oak Ridge was not fooled at all.
Well, David, that's discipline on defense. They've done it all year long. They've played stellar defense. John Young that time, that's about the 3rd play he's made tonight. At the beginning of the season, he got off a little slow, but he's come on the rest of the season, and right now, him and Steve Shelton are producing for Oak Ridge at the outside linebacker position.
Clock ticking down, 7:21 to go in the football game from Blankenship Field. 2nd down, 18 yards to go, a loss of 8 on that last play. LeGrier from the 42-yard line, comes to the right side, rolls out. Here comes the pursuit, the pass is incomplete. Nearly caught. It would have been a great catch if the man had made the catch, Kerry Zachary, but it'll be 3rd down, 18 yards to go facing Central. 7:04 to go, 14-7 our score from Blankenship Field. This is David Cleary along with Jim Vines and Peter Simons. And we're glad you've tuned in. We'd like to invite everybody to join us again next week as Oak Ridge will be playing the Farragut Admirals, I believe, here at Blankenship Field. And that is indeed the case. The Wildcats once again will be at home. The Wildcats' five of the next 6 games will be here at Blankenship Field. 3rd down, 18 yards to go, backfield split. And it looks like kind of like a Statue of Liberty play as he hands it off on the right side. It goes off to Hilton. He's got 1st down yardage wasn't really too sure if he handed the ball off at all, but he went across the 40-yard line, and they'll have it 1st and 10.
Well, what he did that time, David, he dropped back to pass, and he handed off actually in front of him. It's something that the pros have started doing. I believe Joe Montana, the 49ers, was one of the first ones that I've seen do it in the last couple of years where they drop back to pass. Alabama used it quite frequently, but the high schools are picking up those things. Excellent execution. And that time they caught Oak Ridge a little pumped up, and I believe they just over-pursued on the play.
6:56 to go. They've got good field position. The ball at the 37-yard line. I formation, they come up. LeGrier at quarterback still for Central. In motion once again, number 43, Dodson. And handoff goes this time. Fumbled on the play. Who's got it? Oak Ridge. The Oak Ridge High School Wildcats recover the fumble at the 36-yard line. I don't see the man who has it. Who is it?
Well, let's take a guess, David.
John Young.
Les Jones.
Oh, figures. 6:51 to go. We've called 2 names tonight.
You knew it had to be one or the other.
6:51 to go. Oak Ridge has it. The defense is playing another exciting and great game, and with whistles blowing, it's going to be an official timeout as they stretch the chains. But the Oak Ridge offensive unit comes onto the field. 1st down, 10 yards to go. 14-7 our score. This is David Cleary, like I said. Jim Vines and Peter Simons. We're glad you've tuned in. Another exciting evening, whether on Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7 or on 1290 AM WATO. I'd like to remind everybody, like I said, Oak Ridge will be playing Farragut next week here at Blankenship Field. For those of you fans who didn't make the game tonight, we invite you to come out to Blankenship next Friday night. And, of course, if you can't, tune us in here, 7:15 pregame show, and the kickoff at 8 o'clock.
David, right now with Oak Ridge coming off of a turnover, let's see if they try to air it out here, see if they try to strike on the big play. They've got the lead. There's not much time left to go in the ball game. They've got on their own 36. Pretty good field position. Let's see if they throw down the field within the first couple of plays here, as we do have an injured player on the sideline. Let's cut away for 30 seconds. For 30 seconds, Oak Ridge on top, 14-7, 6:51 to go. Back after this 30-second timeout.
Football game, the Wildcats on top by a score of 14-7. And it'll be Gary Johnson and his offensive unit back on the field as Central just fumbled the ball away. Johnson hands off, wants to pass instead. Across the middle it goes, incomplete. Intended for Daniel Carter, went right off the hands of Rodney Helton, and Oak Ridge almost turned the ball over, but then again, Carter almost made a good play.
Well, he did. If Gary there once again, David, he's not taking a lot of snaps, he's not throwing a lot. Has he just hesitated there, we'd have had another big play right off the bat. I kind of anticipated Oak Ridge to try to make something happen there, and they went to their big play guy, Daniel Carter.
6:27 to go. The clock stops. 2nd down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 36-yard line. Darrell Miller, a sophomore, wide to the left side for the Wildcats. Also in the ball game for Oak Ridge, I believe number 4, Bernard Douglas. He's in motion off to the right side. I formation. Johnson, handoff goes, first man through for very little yardage. Might have lost some on the play. It'll be 3rd down, 10 yards to go.
Well, David, Oak Ridge trying to work the clock a little bit as we're now approaching 6 minutes to go in the ball game. Right now, Oak Ridge needs 2 or 3 first downs, as we see Douglas as well as Darrell Miller coming out of the ball game. You got Blake Anderson, Doug Underwood at the splits. You got Gary Johnson, the quarterback. And in the backfield, who have we got? Looks like Campbell and Parrott.
6 minutes exactly to go here in the football game. 3rd down, 10 yards to go. 14-7 our score. Johnson from the 36. This time he'll pass. Rolling to the left side. Has a man free. It's Underwood. He'll not get the pass away, and now he'll do it downfield. He's downfield. He has got it. A beautiful catch at the 30-yard line of Central, reaching between 2 men, pulling the ball down. 1st and 10, Oak Ridge.
Well, David, that's the second big catch he's made tonight. Both of them were high. Give a lot of credit to Gary Johnson that time. He thought about running the ball as he rolled out. He thought about it twice, but then he just held on, kept his poise. Underwood kept running down the field. Most of the players would have stopped running. Nice pass, nice execution. Oak Ridge is starting to come back with a big play that we've come to know for years here at Blankenship Field.
5.5 minutes to go. 1st and 10. Oak Ridge, the ball at the Central 30-yard line. 14-7 our score. Kevin Campbell wide to the left side, wide to the right side. Underwood. Johnson pitches the ball right side. Campbell turns it upfield, gets very little yardage at the 28-yard line.
Well, David, that'll never go down as one of the greatest plays in high school ball, but if people that are watching it on the cable could see the move Gary Johnson made right there, and that is definitely an awesome move. He sidestepped 2 people and still had the presence of mind to pitch the ball out. I think we're seeing a quarterback coming of age.
4:57 to go. 2nd down, 10 yards to go, and the clock still ticking down. You can kind of see now the desperation on the Central Bobcats as Oak Ridge has penetrated to the 30-yard line. 2nd down, 9 yards to go. And Oak Ridge, backfield split. Johnson wants to pass, looks down the field. Miller's free, but Johnson gets away from one man, trips and falls. Now he'll be sacked behind the line of scrimmage, but he did a great job just to elude that first man.
Well, he did a good job that time. He's given Oak Ridge a dimension that they haven't had, as we're going to see Central take a timeout. 4:27 to go in the ball game. Oak Ridge on top 14-7. Let's cut away back to the station, back after 60-second timeout.
14-7 our score, back from Blankenship after this 60-second timeout. Third down, 16 yards to go. Gary Johnson is going to be sacked behind the line of scrimmage, back to the 42-yard line. So Oak Ridge, once again, a nice defensive play by Central.
Well, David, we're down to 4:13 to go, and the clock will run as it is fourth down. Here, once again, the kicking game comes to the forefront. Oak Ridge doesn't want to kick the ball into the end zone here. They want to pin Central back deep. We have not seen the big play potential from Central, so if they have to drive the length of the field in under 4 minutes, it's going to be tough on this Oak Ridge defense. Need a good punt here from Oak Ridge.
Fourth down, 24 yards to go. Nearly blocked once again. This time it's away. It's going to be let bounce at the 10-yard line. Takes a good Oak Ridge bounce all the way down to the 4-yard line. Oak Ridge will have good defensive position as Central will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. The ball at the 4-yard line. 3 minutes, 38 seconds to go in the football game. Central trails by a score of 14-7.
Well, David, right now, Central's got to be concerned about getting some points on the board. As you know, in high school ball, if they do score, it will be in overtime, as we have a sub coming in for Oak Ridge. That's number 77, Rick Ricola. And he'll be replacing 73, who is that, David? 73, Derek Golden coming out of the ball game. First and 10, ball on about the 5-yard line for Central.
First down, 10 yards to go. Regier wants to pass. He's going to almost sack in the end zone. Intercepted. It'll go for a touchdown. Oak Ridge. Greg Campbell, I believe, intercepts at the 10-yard line. Took it down the right side, and Oak Ridge scores. Might have been Jamie Redmond, Jim Vines.
Yeah, I believe it was. Regier is down on his play. Redmond really is in a good position to intercept the ball. But really more it was just the fact that LeGrier was pumped up and overthrew the ball. Redmond just happened to be in the right place. Oak Ridge did have it defended properly, however, so when you do have good defense, good things are going to happen to you. LeGrier just tried to get too much on one play that time.
Into the game to kick for the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats will come senior Jamie Murphy, and it'll be Keith Guthrie to hold. 3:10 to go. Oak Ridge 20 and Central 7. The Wildcats looking for their first win of the season, an important district win. The ball is down. Little high snap. It's going to be fumbled. And once again, Oak Ridge will not get the special team kick away. And the score reads Oak Ridge 20 and Central 7. We'll be back from Blankenship Field after this 60-second timeout. David Clary, Jim Vines, Peter Simons, and John Hope here on Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7. We're glad you've tuned in, which is becoming a really exciting football game. It's good to see Oak Ridge with a big lead like this. It's been a long time coming this season.
Well, it certainly has, David, and going back even to last year, Oak Ridge has had trouble getting points on the board, but we could have seen them turn a corner tonight. What I've noticed has been the difference physically. Oak Ridge has played the same type of ball game they have all season long. Mentally, attitude-wise, has been the difference tonight. It's just been esprit de corps, if you will. They've just been more fired up tonight, and I believe that's transcended back to the offense. The defense right then comes back with a big play.
3 minutes, 10 seconds to go here in this football game. 20-7 our score. The Wildcats of Oak Ridge on top, looking for victory number 1. We can see some of the Central fans beginning to file out of Blankenship Field. It's been a pleasant evening for the Oak Ridge fans. We'll get a recap of the scoring as Murphy will be kicking off now for Oak Ridge. Here's the kick as he slips, as he hits the tee. He's fielded by it up back at the 25, comes up to the 30, breaks open 35, now trips and falls at the 36-yard line. and that's where Central will take over. First down, 10 yards to go. And
Randy Sexton looked like number 72 on the stop for the Wildcats as he came in and really laid the pads on Central. David, what we were saying earlier, I believe it's a mental thing for Oak Ridge now that apparently they're on their way to their first win of the season. You could just see it on the field. They really had more confidence tonight and belief in themselves, and I don't know where it's come from, but it's here, and I believe it's a positive thing for Oak Ridge.
You and I have been covering these ball games for a lot of years. Have you ever seen so many sophomores play in a football game this early in the season?
Well, not in the positions that they're in, David. Of course, now we're not seeing anybody in the backfield, but in the defensive secondary and at the wide receiver, we're seeing a lot of sophomores.
First and 10 Central. LeGrier rolls to the left side, looks down the field, the pass is away. It's going to be, I believe, complete. Unless he was out of bounds, it will indeed be complete at the Oak Ridge 45-yard line. Nice play that time by the receiver from the Central Bobcats.
We're seeing more and more players hobbling for Oak Ridge. T.J. Parrish again. It seems like the last couple years, David, I've never seen so many cramps. We talked about last year, Eric Thomas seemed to have cramp up just about every ball game, and tonight we're seeing more and more of the skill position players being cramped up.
David Clary, Jim Vines, and Jim Woofter here from the Blankenship field, as you might be able to hear him in the background, the offensive coordinator for Coach Bill Young's team. And it goes up right up the middle, and it goes maybe another fumble on the play at the 46-yard line. Evidently not. It'll be second down and about 9 yards to go. Referee signaled a timeout signaled by Central, and that stops the clock with 2:39 to go. A reminder of our score: the Oak Ridge Wildcats on top 20-7, and we'll be back in 60 seconds. Peter Simons back here on Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7. 2 minutes, 39 seconds to go. Second down, 11 yards to go for Central. Second down, 11. Handoff goes on the right side. A pass from the halfback. It's going to go down the field. It's going to be complete at the 15-yard line. And the pass was complete, I believe, to Jackson. That is the case. Greg Jackson, an excellent play that time on the halfback pass.
Well, and he burned the sophomore Spratlin, but those guys are going to get better, David. That time, Spratlin had good coverage, but I believe he took his eye off the quarterback and was playing the receiver, and by the time he turned around, the pass was already by him. Those things have come with time. It's really good to see Oak Ridge get some young people in there so that in future occasions that won't be the case.
2 minutes, 20 seconds to go. 27, Oak Ridge on top. LeGrier at quarterback from the 15. He rolls to the left side, looks to the end zone. One man free, it goes to him. It's up and incomplete. Defending on the play was Jamie Redmond. The pass was a little bit high. The intended receiver, Jackson, once again, was open.
Well, he was open momentarily, but LeGrier's getting a lot of pressure now from Oak Ridge. They know that they're going to have to throw the ball, so the inside linebackers are coming really hard. And T.J. Parrish was back there, but he's limping, and so I think that was one of the reasons that the guy was open. At any rate, it's second down and 10 for the Bobcats.
2 minutes, 10 seconds to go in the football game. 20-7 as LeGrier brings them up once again from the 15-yard line. The backfield split. Wide to the right side will go number 47 Plus. Once again, he rolls to the left side. Here comes Oak Ridge. The ball down in the end zone, and then nearly intercepted once again by Redmond. Another great defensive play by the junior Jamie Redmond.
Well, he had good coverage that time, and he turned at the proper moment, David, once the pass was in the air. As we see another player for Oak Ridge down with cramps, it looks like Greg Campbell. We won't really officially say that until we can see the number for sure, but it's just amazing to me how many, in the last 2 years, how many players have had problems with cramps. I'd really like to find out. I don't know if it's a conditioning problem or it's just the weather or what, but I've never seen this many players go down with cramps in the last 2 years.
20-7 our score. A recap of the scoring. Oak Ridge jumped on top with a 7-0 with a 1-yard quarterback sneak by Gary Johnson with 3:54 to go in the first quarter. Central tied the game on a 16-yard pass from LeGrier with 7:39 to go in the second quarter. Oak Ridge went on top 14-7 on an 89-yard touchdown from Gary Johnson to Blake Anderson. The point after by Sampson was good in the third quarter with 4:58 to go, and then just moments ago, Jamie Redmond intercepted at the 10-yard line a LeGrier pass, and Oak Ridge missed the kick, but they lead by a score of 20-7. Third down, 10. Pitch out right side once again. The pass from the back is going to go intercepted by Parrish. He's got the ball at the goal line. He'll turn the ball out. He'll go down at about the 4-yard line. He should have downed it, but he'll have it at the 5.
And I think, David, the coaches will talk to him about that come practice next Monday or Sunday when they look at the films. But the kid was excited, and he tried to make a big play. But I think later on in the season they're going to explain to him that when you're 5 yards deep, go ahead and take the touchback. But he was excited. He made a big play, and you know, it's late in the ball game, minute 52 to go. Oak Ridge up by about 13 points. You don't really want them to do that, but the enthusiasm is what caused that. Definitely a nice defensive play by T.J. Parrish.
And he seems to be injured as he comes over to the bench once again, assisted. I didn't really see it down on the field, but he was really stacked up when he was hit at the 5-yard line. There's still another Central Bobcat right out on the field. While I have the opportunity, we've got plenty of time. The Wildcat Boosters Club, John Clark asked me to pass this along to you. The Wildcat Boosters Club wishes to thank the following merchants for providing Thursday evening dinners for the team and coaches: Danvers Domino's Pizza, Garden Plaza Hotel, Western Sizzlin' Steakhouse, and of course Linda Brown Realty. For a number of years, the Boosters Club has been sponsoring Thursday night meals for the coaches and players, and it's another service of that Boosters Club which makes the Oak Ridge sports program what it is today, one of the best organizations in the city of Oak Ridge. 1 minute 52 seconds to go, 20-7 our score. The Oak Ridge Wildcats on top. We're glad you've tuned in an exciting evening of Oak Ridge High School football, whether on WATO 1290 AM or on Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7. Of course, the broadcast on Saturdays, and of course, if you live on the West End, next week the Wildcats will be playing Farragut. If you have trouble receiving some locations on West Outer Drive, have trouble picking up the WATO signal, you can listen to the game on Channel 7. First down, 10 yards to go. Oak Ridge from the 5-yard line, 1:37 to go. Johnson hands off right up the middle. The Wildcats working on the clock. And the running back, Drew Parrott, gets up close to the 10-yard line. Pick up, we'll call it about 5 yards. It'll be second down, 5 yards to go. Maybe not that much, as they're going to spot it down at the 9. So it'll be second down and 8 yards. Only a pickup of 2 on the play. Clock still running. 1 minute, 15 seconds to go as Kevin Campbell brings the new play in. 1 minute, 10 seconds to go. Central has 1 timeout remaining, I believe. And they trail 20-7. Oak Ridge looking for their first victory of the 1986 season. Just a minute away now as Donnell Field works his way wide to the left side. Campbell wide right. I formation. Johnson, the quarterback. He's gone all the way. In motion will go Daniel Carter, and he sets up. A whistle blows, and evidently it's going to be delay of game called against Oak Ridge. And that stops the clock with 48 seconds to go. Here in the football game, they'll step the ball off half the distance to the goal, back down to about the 5-yard line. 48 seconds, 20-7. Of course, Jim Vines will be talking to the head coach of the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats, Bill Young, immediately following this football game.
Well, David, I think for a lot of people that aren't aware of what we're both trying to do tonight, you more so than me, we've got the cable mics, we got the ATO mics here, and we've been juggling them back and forth. We want everybody to give us a little bit of time to work all this out. We're going live half the time and tape delay part of the time, so bear with us, and maybe by the next game we'll have it all worked out. I think you did a great job tonight.
Thank you. You've done another fine job in what you've done, and Coach Shipley is an easy man to interview. You just kind of ask him one question as another flag goes down on the play. 48 seconds to go. I'm interested in hearing Coach Young. The last 2 weeks, he's been pleased with his team's performance. This time he's going to be pleased because he's got a win.
Well, of course, you know he's going to be pleased with the win. I think more so he's going to be pleased that it was an overall effort. You had a lot of people contributing to the win, and I believe that's what this team needs. We've been saying that they've been looking for one person to lead them, and I don't know if it's going to be one person this year. I think it's going to have to be a combined effort, and that's what they got tonight, and that's why he's got to be pleased. We see another sophomore, number 83, Eric Wright, coming into the ball game. So once again, David, we have another wide receiver seeing some action, and we see Quayu Graham and Wright, both sophomores, into the lineup.
Second down, 14 yards to go. The ball carrier gets the ball back up to the 5-yard line. 42 seconds to go. It'll be third down and about 11 yards to go as Wright comes out of the football game. And into the game now will come for Oak Ridge, number 21. That'll be Mark Norris, a senior, 5'11", 160 pounds.
Well, he's a wing back for the Cats as we see Bernard Douglas coming out of the ball game. Oak Ridge trying to get as many people in the game as possible as we're now down to 39 seconds. Oak Ridge on top, 20-7.
39 seconds to go. We've got a couple of key plays in this ball game. Of course, the final touchdown was an exciting, a 10-yard interception return by Redmond. But of course, the go-ahead touchdown, the 89-yard touchdown pass to Blake Anderson, one of the most exciting plays, definitely the most exciting play we've seen all season.
It would definitely rival Quayu's run up in Jefferson County, but it was a well-executed play. It was an offensive series play. They saw a weakness. They saw single coverage on the wideout. It was to the weak side of the field, so the play either came from above or they talked about at halftime. At any rate, big play for the Wildcats.
3rd down, 12. Handoff goes Parity. Gets the ball back up to the 10-yard line. And the clock still ticking down. 32 seconds to go. It'll be 4th down facing Oak Ridge. And I believe Coach Young talking with Sam Sampson, and he'll come on the field to do the punting for Oak Ridge. Some other players strolling on in the football field. Of course, number 46, Les Jones. We've talked about him. There's a lot of players that we've called out in this ball game that I'm sure Coach Young is going to be pleased with their performance.
There's no question about it, David. As the clock is running down, Oak Ridge will not have to get the punt off, as the game should come to a close with 5 seconds to go.
So 4 seconds to go. Our final score here from Blankenship Field in this exciting game as the Oak Ridge fans rise to their feet. And the Oak Ridge Wildcats have won their first game of the 1986 season, a 20-7 victory over the Central Bobcats. The importance of this game, of course, a district win. Another importance, a big victory. The Wildcats looking for a victory, and they finally got it here in the 4th week of the season.
Well, David, we said at the outset that at the Hickson game, they needed a positive game. They didn't necessarily need a win. They lost the ball game, but they did improve. Tonight, we said they needed a win. That's what they went out there and got. In retrospect, looking back at the whole ball game, Oak Ridge was the one that gave Central the opportunities, but once again, it was the Oak Ridge defense who came to the forefront and rose to the occasion on several occasions during the whole first half and definitely in the second half. But I think overall it was the team effort, and it seemed that it became infectious. 1 or 2 players made good plays. Everyone started to make a good play. Jamie Redmond, Blake Anderson, Gary Johnson, Les Jones, Chris Groff. You go on and on. You had Doug Underwood with a nice play. Steve Shelton played tremendous. John Young caused 2 fumbles tonight. Clint Rash was in on some big plays. The offensive line, defensive line, it was a team effort and a team win.
Once again, a reminder of our final score as Peter Simons, our stat man, is working very hard behind us, getting the stats ready. We expect a visit from Coach Bill Young here in a little bit. Our final score from Blankenship Field on this big winning night here in Oak Ridge. The Oak Ridge High School Wildcats 20 and the Central Bobcats 7. We'll be back after this 60-second timeout. John Hope on camera for Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7. Along with David Clary, Jim Vines, and Peter Simon, we hope you've enjoyed this broadcast of the Oak Ridge football victory tonight over Central, a big key game, and of course next week another big game against Farragut.
It is a big game, David. It's a non-district ball game, but Oak Ridge really has to build on this win. I think Oak Ridge should be favored in the ball game. Farragut's had a tough time this year, much like Oak Ridge. They match up size-wise very well. I think Oak Ridge, like I said, should be favored during a contest, but they're going to go out there and have to prove it. It's a big rival just like the Central Ball Club, so it's going to be a big game for Oak Ridge and a tough ball game.
So once again, our final score here from Blankenship Field, the Oak Ridge High School Wildcats 20 and the Central Bobcats 7. For John Hope, our cameraman, this is David Clary, Jim Vines, and Peter Simon saying so long here on Tennessee Cablevision Channel 7.